we watched a video by Big Boss about Bethesda is worse than you thought. Kind of detailed like the history of Bethesda and how things have gone completely tits up with Bethesda. Well, recently, as in like what? As in like 4 days ago, Big Boss put out another video about Bethesda. He has put out a follow-up video to Bethesda called The Absolute Chaos of Bethesda. It's a bit of a long one. That's why I think this may take us to the end of stream. But it's Big Boss, and I love his stuff. His stuff is amazing. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to see just how deep this rabbit hole is going to go. So, do you have your popcorn ready, chats? Let's do it. And for reference, my react to his original one is on my YouTube channel. This is a follow-up video.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. The year is 2013. 2 years since Skyrim. 5 years since Bethesda's last Fallout. And we'd heard nothing. Fans are starved. Ravenous for anything at this point, they scramble for any scraps they could find. Voice actors' tweets, employee leaks, Bethesda staff sightings. They'd take anything. But on the 14th of November 2013, a website appears online, the Survivor2299.com. On it, Fallout's Vault Tech logo and a countdown to December 11th. That was just 4 days after the Game Awards, where Skyrim was announced 3 years ago. Fans dig through the online directory, and its publisher? ZeniMax Media. Still, some are skeptical, but then 3 days later, ZeniMax Media actually files the trademark for Fallout 4 in Europe. They'd also said nothing about the website. If it wasn't legit, surely they'd just come out and say so. This could only mean one thing. The next Fallout was here. Bethesda hadn't abandoned us. They were finally throwing a bone to the little guy. And fan speculation goes wild. Then comes the Morse codes. Then the Caesar shift cryptography. Then the Visioneer ciphers. Fans are sat at home in their pants for hours deciphering them. They even find a working phone number on the website, which leads to more codes. Some of these codes reference an actual radio frequency in Massachusetts, which sounds like this. Bethesda's YouTube channel is even linked in the source code of the website. This was serious stuff. Bethesda had gone above and beyond with the viral marketing here. Every gaming outlet is talking about it, and there's...
Although, here's the problem. Every time a company goes this hog wild with viral marketing, with some notable exceptions, this insane viral marketing campaign ends up amounting to not a whole hell of a lot. It's very misleading. It builds up a lot of hype, but the thing that it's building up hype for disappoints. Now, Fallout 4, I don't think Fallout 4 was a disappointment, so to speak. Fallout 4 was fine, but I don't think it was anywhere near as good as they hyped it up to be. Like, there was nothing, like, other than the typical Bethesda bugs, because let's face it, Fallout 4 had the typical Bethesda bugs in it. But Fallout 4 wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't it did not reach the levels that I think that they were hoping for. Yeah, it was, and it wasn't as good as New Vegas. I think it might have actually been better than 3 from what, like, I never played 3. Full disclosure, I never played 3, and I never finished 4, for that matter. But I from what I understand, Fallout 4, I think was received, was it was 3 considered better than 4? I know New Vegas was considered better than 4, certainly. I don't know about 3. 3, okay, so 3 is, some of you are saying 3 is overhated. New Vegas best, yeah, Sketty, that's the general consensus I hear from everybody is that New Vegas was the best. I don't remember how far I got into Fallout 4, honestly. It's been a while since I played it, and I lost interest. Realistically, I lost interest. It didn't have the dialogue options that 3 or New Vegas had. You basically only got yes or yes, but a little sassy. Fair enough, dudes. Fair enough. It's like I think I played, how many hours did I play for? I want to say I maybe played 30 or 40 hours on Fallout 4 before I said, okay, I'm bored, and I just stopped. And it didn't interest me.
Even Facebook pages and YouTube channels with daily updates monitoring it. The subreddit watching the website's every move. The 6th of December 2013, almost 2 weeks of code cracking, and fatigue is beginning to set in. But it's now just 1 day before the Game Awards, and 5 days before the countdown ends. The hype is tangible. And Todd and the boys hit us with this tweet. What?
Wait. What that
And Todd and the
No, folks, I'm not going to Video Game Awards. Bethesda is not talking about anything at VGX, just some PR meetings in LA. Take deep breaths. Oh. Doof.
boys hit us with this tweet. What? It's gotta be a joke. Some sort of sick joke. But then fans boot up the website, and my god. Gone was the timer, the Vault-Tec logo. All that was left? A Rickroll hosted on a server somewhere in Poland. A dark day. 3 weeks of speculation and hype, countless videos on YouTube.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is fucking perfect. That is the best fucking troll I have seen. You get the whole fucking internet all hyped up and they all get rickrolled. That is beautiful. I fucking love it.
3 weeks of speculation and hype, countless videos on YouTube, and dozens of hours of people's lives spent cracking random ciphers and lining up rivers on Google Maps. For absolutely nothing. Naturally, they're not pleased. The guy behind the website does an AMA on Reddit, and is vilified by the community instantly. We hear nothing else about Fallout for a while.
No, I'm sorry. That man is a fucking legend. Let's not. Yeah, all of the Fallout fanboys got all pissy and wet their diapers over it. That man is a legend for pulling that off. Absolute fucking legend.
And Fallout fans return to the darkness. June the 2nd, 2015. Another Fallout-themed countdown timer appears. We'd been burned before. Turn it off. But turns out, this time, it's actually real. And on June the 3rd, it's nearing the end. And finally, after years of anticipation, Fallout 4's announcement trailer is actually upon us. June the 14th. It's E3, and Bethesda Game Studios is holding their first full press conference. Todd strolls out on stage again.
Chat, you remember E3? Yeah, do you guys remember when E3 used to actually exist? God, it's been gone for... How long has E3 been gone for? How many years has E3 been gone for? Isn't it been like 5+ years? Was the last time E3 was in existence? Yeah, I think it was like I think they had the last E3 just before COVID. I believe. I don't know if COVID killed it, Alex, because E3, like a lot of people, E3 was already on its way down. All right, let's not fuck with it. E3 was already on its way out, and COVID basically just finished it off. No, Eminency, E3 is not a game award. E3 wasn't the Game Awards. E3 was like a showcase of, like, E3 was a showcase that developers and distributors used to promote their upcoming games. That it was not an award show. And yeah, it's like people got sick of it because I'm pretty sure one of the last E3 was it 2029. Okay, so 6 years. Yeah, it was basically a trade show. And like I think you saw it was on the way out when in the last year, in the last like year or two of E3, you had Blizzard doing Diablo 4 and did that whole thing and did the whole was that was BlizzCon, wasn't it? The Diablo 4 launch was BlizzCon, not E3, wasn't it? I'm mixing up my shows. Aren't I? I'm mixing things up, aren't I? Yeah, I'm mixing up my words. It's like what was being shown at E3 in the year or two leading up to its conclusion, like all of the games were disappointing. Showcasing how people are disappointed in how the gaming industry was going. Like E3 was literally the showcase for how people had become disappointed in video games. Nobody gave a shit. And attendance at E3 was starting to drop. Publishers stopped actually showcasing their new launches at E3. And it was already on the downward slope. And then COVID in 2020 just kind of finished it off. And they just said, E3's done. The show was not making money anymore. Devs and distributors didn't want to waste money presenting it. Attendance was down, and COVID basically just killed it off. And yeah, 2021, they said, this is the last one. We're not doing them anymore.
Confidence radiating. He's met with
Resin, I
thunderous
agree.
applause. Again, the claims are bold.
All of this just works. And again, it
We gotta hear that again. Oh, the inception of the meme.
Again, the claims are bold.
all of this just works. And again, it just works.
Hold on. Is that the release date? That's just 5 months away. But first, look to the sky.
Time.
By God,
Time.
it's thundering time. War Thunder is one of the most comprehensive PvP vehicle combat games ever created. 10 nations, over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships. From some of the most technologically advanced death machines ever concocted by man, to your granddad's crusty old crop duster. Jump into combat in almost anything. The detail is immaculate. Sharp textures, crisp sounds. Every vehicle is delicately modelled right down to the corest of components. Engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and even the lads inside. All of these are individually targetable,
lads.
and in X-ray view, you'll see everything close up. The game has had over 95 million players. Join them. War Thunder is free to play on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and now mobile devices too. You're a new or returning player on PC or consoles? Well, for a limited time, here's a massive bonus pack, including an exclusive vehicle decorator, Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, 7 days of premium, plus a ton more. Just sign up through the link in the description or the pinned comment below.
Here we go.
Now, for some quick context, a few years before Fallout 4 was even announced, Bethesda let Obsidian Entertainment, a Californian development team with several key people from Fallout's original dev team, take the wheel, and crank out a Fallout 3 spin-off based on their original plan for Fallout 3 back in 2004. With only 18 months to get the game out the door, they got to work immediately, and in 2010, Fallout New Vegas was released.
There we go.
Wait, was that traits from the first game? Joinable factions? An in-depth reputation system?
I hate the air that you breathe! Nice!
and actual skill and attribute checks in dialogue and out in the world.
Man, I can't wait to see the look on his face.
Also, the writing here is actually good. The world,
Yeah.
pretty deeply thought out, with multiple
That's what I hear
factions at
everybody
play,
say.
an interesting conflict, and actual player choice. The characters are also well written, and if you don't like someone, that's fine, because this is always an option. Then there's almost every chain of side quests in the game affecting the main story and the ending slideshow. There are actually hundreds of endings here. We were looking at a 3D Fallout game with actual RPG mechanics and good writing here. In fact, the game had fixed almost everything wrong with Fallout 3.
I forgot that he redid this. You know who this is, right? You guys know who this is, right? This is fucking Brett Rambo. The kid meme who's at the computer, he's got the long blonde hair and he does the thumbs up like this. This is him as an adult.
And it was phenomenal. Obsidian even had to work around the crusty Gamebryo engine code, with all the issues that came with it. For instance, if anything in the game is voiced, there has to be a character to actually voice it. This leads to characters in the game like Ron the narrator, Bill the tax collector, and Testicles the debug centurion. The ending slideshow is also an actual in-game slideshow your character's locked into looking at, with Ron the narrator behind it. Anyway, due to the engine, the short development time they'd been given, and the colossal 500 megabytes of RAM they'd had to work with consoles, the big plans they had for the city had to be trimmed considerably. But 18 months in, and Obsidian had made one of the best role-playing games of all time. However, because it's so jam-packed and was made in such a short time, it has a rough start. It's horrifically buggy and horribly optimized on release.
Okay, I mean, it is a Bethesda game, regardless of the fact that Obsidian worked on it. It's a Bethesda game. Literally every Bethesda game is buggy. At release, post-release, 6 years after release. It's fucking Bethesda. It's fucking Bethesda. Yeah, at this point, they are desperately trying to make it so that, yes, the bugs are a feature.
Almost unplayable in some cases. There's literally a bug where you can't enter the main strip of New Vegas.
Even though Obsidian was the developers for it, they were still working off Bethesda's broke-ass engine, the Embryo engine. They were still working off of that broken engine that Bethesda can never get working properly. That's kind of what I'm referencing there.
Unplayable in some cases. There's literally a bug where you can't enter the main strip of New Vegas without wearing the old cowboy hat. The bugs are eventually patched, but because of its release date, New Vegas receives 84 points on Metacritic. That was just 1 point short for the bonus Bethesda would have given them, as per the contract. As a result, layoffs at Obsidian, and around 20 to 30 people are banished. Nefarious theories about Bethesda begin to float. Some fans even suggest
Game was rigged from the start.
Obsidian would go on to pitch a Fallout New Vegas 2, and a similar spin-off with Elder Scrolls. A guaranteed cash cow for both parties. But this time, Bethesda says no. And that was the end of it.
And then Obsidian, pretty sure it was Obsidian that went on to make Outer Worlds. Which, from what I hear, Outer Worlds was okay. Yeah, that's Chieftain. That's about what I heard, is that Outer Worlds was basically meh. I didn't hear much better regarding Outer Worlds 2 either. Outer Worlds 2 was just, again, from what I've heard, was fine, but it was meh. So, yeah.
Fallout 4, probably the most hyped game of 2015. It had been half a decade since we'd last heard anything at all from the franchise, so people are naturally quite excited to jump back in. And on the 10th of November 2015, the game is out the door. The reviews, amazing. 9.5 out of 10 IGN. YouTubers are even calling it near perfect.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When I played Fallout 4, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a decent game. In no way did I ever think Fallout 4 was perfect. Like, and then see, I don't think people thought Fallout 4 was bad. But it definitely did not live up to the hype. It was it was like the ending of Fallout 4 was Fallout 4 was fine. It was fine. It was a perfectly decent game. I lost interest in it because like the Fallout games is not really my style of game. It's so, but like it was fine. It had some bugs. But generally speaking, it was a decent game. It was fine. It was okay. There wasn't anything egregiously wrong with it, but it also wasn't spectacular. Like, like these people are saying, like where it's like near perfect. And like I never played it modded. Mods, I'm sure, elevated it even further. But overall, it was decent enough. There was no big issues with it. I just got bored. I just got bored by it, that's all.
However, when people actually get their hands on the game,
the main story,
and it's neither of those things.
Yeah.
During development, Bethesda had looked at Fallout 3's gunplay. Yeah, not really up to standards, boys. So they pulled some programmers from id, who were developing Doom at the time, to help them make actual, functional FPS combat. And as a result, the gameplay here, a lot better. The gun modification system from New Vegas is back, and it's heavily expanded. It's actually very good here, and utilises the horde of absolute shit you amass while playing the game. Also, more voice actors. So now every third NPC in the game no longer sounds the exact same.
Show me what you got.
Plus, a few other elements of Fallout 4 had clearly taken some inspiration from New Vegas. This game actually has joinable factions, and they play a big role in the resolution of the main storyline.
Sure.
An improvement. Companions are also a lot better than 3's. They have personalities here, and even their own quests too, like in New Vegas. They now also like or dislike certain actions you do, depending on said personality. There's now a sprint button, and that new power armor, pretty cool. However, that's generally where the good ends. See, after a bumpy start, Fallout fans had come to love New Vegas, one of the best RPGs of all time, some even claim. And so, as a following game in the same franchise, some people expected Fallout 4 to improve, maybe even build upon it. No. Todd Howard is, at this point, a legendary game designer, a 4-times world champion. His ideas were groundbreaking. He couldn't be caged, and his process was not changing for this game. He, and Bethesda as a whole, could do no wrong. This was going to be another smash hit regardless. Game of the Year was essentially coded in. And so again, simplification. The character system in Fallout 3, far too confusing. Special attributes, perks, and skill? Please. So they remove skills entirely, and merge them into perks and attributes. Traits are still nowhere to be found. The speech. See, half the charm of the old Fallouts are the branching effects of dialogue. The various quest lines and scraps of information you can wrangle from people using only the gift of the gab.
Who is it? What? I should kick your fucking ass. Who is this?
So for Fallout 4, Emil and the rest of Bethesda's crack writing team sit down. What Fallout really needs is an emotional story.
No, I mean, Silver, I tried New Vegas. I downloaded it and I tried New Vegas on stream. I'm sorry it wasn't interesting. There was nothing wrong with the game. It's not for me. It's just not my style of game.
Story boys. Also, Todd's been quite blatantly gunning for a more mainstream crowd for over a decade now, and no one in the general public can really read anymore due to brain rot. So let's kill two birds with one stone, and go for a voiced protagonist. What they didn't see coming, they couldn't possibly have predicted, was that voicing every single line of dialogue your character says in the game 2 times.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
I am Barbie girl, I said.
Is a bit
Fucking Vlad! Oh my god! Fucking Vlad! Oh my god. Hang on. You guys know about Vlad? No, this is Vlad. This is Vlad. He's a YouTuber. He also does OF, with Finster. And yes, this is a guy. But he will troll people. He will he's not trans. He's not, a cross-dresser. Well, technically he does your cross-dressing, but he's not trans or anything. He will dress up like a girl, do full makeup. Like, just to look at him, you would not know he is a guy. And he, trolls the shit out of people. He pitches his voice up really high to try and sound like a girl. And, he'll just go around in public and talk to him hi, how you doing? And then, out of nowhere, he'll just go, hi. And drop and basically just let his natural voice come through and trolls people. But he's really good at the makeup. He's really good at the cross-dressing. He has full makeup tips and how to full cross-dressing stuff. It's really cool. And he's paired up with Finster for multiple videos. We've also done some OF videos together. But he's hilarious. He was doing this trolling thing at TwitchCon a couple years ago. It was fucking hysterical. And he would do this. He would start off with the quote-unquote Barbie voice, and then switch to his natural voice, which is big, buff as hell Russian man. And people be like, yo, what the fuck? It's great. It's fucking hilarious.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
I am Barbie girl, I said.
Is a bit expensive and quite time consuming. So
We may
Todd and
watch
the
one
team
of
do
his
what they do
videos.
best. Streamline. That old iconic speech system? Get rid of it. That Mass Effect game is pretty good. Let's use theirs. Let's also lock the player down to 4 speech options at all times. And let's not even allow them to see what those options are. Brilliant.
What?
This results in a ton of speech options being quite deceiving.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck.
Yeah. That is one of the biggest kicks in the teeth I hate with dialogue options these days. Because so many of them do this. Is where you get dialogue options for an interaction. You choose one, and then the dialogue itself does not match the option that you picked in any way. It is exactly what it just showed. Where it says, I want to say hi. And your character goes, fuck you. It's a dynamic difference between what you're picking and what actually gets said. And you're sitting here going, wait, what the fuck? That's not what I wanted to say. And it's with Dragon Age 4. With Dragon Age 4, all the dialogue option, Dragon. Yeah, it was Dragon Age 4. The Dragon Age 4 was the culmination of the bullshit dialogue options, because every dialogue option that you had was some version of simping for whatever person that you're talking to. You can never actually tell never actually tell another character, fuck you, yes, Veilguard, exactly, why did I say 4? Yes, Dragon Age Veilguard. I do not know why I said 4, ignore me. Every dialogue option in that, if you dealt with someone that was bad, you had no dialogue option to go, fuck you, you're an asshole, I'm gonna kick your ass. All of the dialogue, even dialogue options that seem to imply that you're going to say, I'm going to kick the fuck out of you because you're an evil piece of shit. The dialogue in and of itself is just well, I understand there was a bad thing that you did, but I understand where you're coming from, so it's all good. This is kind of where it started with Fallout 4. I didn't, Scary Guy. I've just seen enough reviews on it to know all I need to know about it. And the dialogue was one of those things that was horrible. But this is where it started. It started with Fallout 4, where the dialogue option that you get doesn't match what your character actually says.
And because writing is hard, let's just boil every speech option down to yes, Sarcastic, yes. Maybe, yes. And no, but actually yes. Two of the first and most popular mods to come out removes the voiceovers entirely and actually shows you what you're saying, and this problem becomes quite plain to see. Skills are gone, and as a result, skill speech checks and dialogue, gone too. Special attribute speech checks too. There are charisma speech checks in the game,
I don't believe you.
but they rarely result in anything other than give me money.
All right. 200. 150.
The protagonist's voice lines, which caused half the issues here, make up for around 25% of the game's dialogue data and script. That's about 26,000 lines. All of this time and expense on a feature which fans hate and actively makes the game significantly worse. Brilliant. At least the dialogue's well written.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready.
Then there's the karma system, which they'd gotten rid of, the faction system, but instead of the varied reputations like we'd gotten in New Vegas, you're basically either with someone or against them. The skill and attribute checks they had out in the world in Fallout 3, basically nowhere to be found. They did put a couple in there though, just enough to remind us that they could have done it, but didn't. Far fewer evil character options, weapon durability's gone. The new, worse layered armor system, holstered weapons are no longer visible. And the ending slideshow is not even gimped, it's just completely non-existent here. The game ends on essentially the exact same cutscene for all 4 endings.
Playing every hour on every channel.
For Fallout 4, Todd also doubled down on the procedural stuff again, and attempted to make the game infinitely replayable. And to do this, they'd cooked up the settlement system.
It's done.
A base building framework that allows you to construct your own towns across the map and establish trade routes between them. Sounds great. But
your
own
this part
towns
right
across
here,
the map and establish.
when I played Fallout 4, I never did any of this. This was this part, the base building, was so fucking boring. I had no interest in building up any of these towns. I did not care. Because it didn't do anything. It's like, okay, it looks okay now, but it doesn't actually do anything other than look pretty. And so I didn't do it. The only thing I put even a tiny little bit of effort into is the gas station where you first find the power armor and it is your first base. That's the only one that I kind of gave a little bit of a shit about. All of the other bases, the amount of time I would have had to put into and resources to gather to try and build up all of these fucking buildings and shit. I was like, no, I don't care. I really don't care. I just want to play the story. Which wasn't all that engaging either, because I quit the game.
Establish trade routes between them. Sounds great. But again, there are issues. The entire interface for base building is from the perspective of the player, limiting and obstructing camera angles, making construction a nightmare. There's also a ton of building and trash in the way that you can't scrap and have to build around. Again, a nightmare. Not a fan of the system? Unlucky. Because this mechanic is pretty much unavoidable. Elements are mandatory in the main quest, and one of the 4 factions' quest lines completely revolves around it. However, a benefit. Due to this new settlement system,
All of this just works.
players can now build their own settlements. No need for Bethesda to even bother. As a result, the game is majorly lacking in actual towns. Morrowind had something like 21 towns. Fallout 3 had about 15 proper settlements. New Vegas around 15 too. Fallout 4, 5 years later, somewhere around 7. The main city is also quite underwhelming. Less settlements equals less quests. And surprise surprise, Fallout 4 is lacking here too. It has less than Skyrim, a game that came out 4 years earlier. Missing the towns and quests our old games had an abundance of? Well, here's a tiny hovel next to a lake for you to do up yourself. There are around 30 of these potential settlements, and Bethesda uses these to pad out the game's lack of content via more radiant quests. See, there's a man in the game called Preston Garvey, and he's about to become your worst nightmare. Prepare to hear this every time you speak to the man for the rest of the game. Naturally, the character is widely hated.
I'll mark it on your map.
But turns out, he's essential. 10,000 people download him.
Yeah, I like a lot of people say that. Like, oh, the mods have made it better. The mods have made it better. But I'm sorry. Bethesda's entire business strategy is put out absolute dog shit, and the mods will fix it. The modders will fix our game, and we're still gonna charge full fucking price. And I'm sorry, no. That's what happened with Starfield. With Starfield, they put out a half-baked game that they promised the literal universe for, and it was half-baked, but their mindset was, just get it out there, the modders will fix it. And honestly, after I think probably like a couple of months, the modders were like, fuck this. We don't want to deal with this. When the modders give up on the game because they're literally having to rebuild the entire fucking game, you done fucked up. You fucked it up bad. Now, there is one modder that has been working on something. I don't know if it's out or if it's still in progress, but there is a modder out there who was modded the ever-living shit out of Starfield to make it Star Wars. I don't know if he's still working on it or if it's completed, but someone has actually modded up Starfield so extensively, it's no longer Starfield. It is basically Star Wars. It is like an open world Star Wars. Like, yeah, Genesis. Yes, there you go. That's it, Luke. Yeah, Star Wars Genesis is a massive mod for Starfield that turned Starfield into Star Wars. But all the other modders, they're like, after like a month or two, we're like, fuck this, we're out. We have no interest in modding this game. This game is so fucking broken and half-baked, it's not worth putting our time and energy into it. Evidency, there is, but it's not the same. The Star Wars MMO is a more World of Warcraft style versus a, versus a Fallout Starfield style. So it's World of Warcraft where you have to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whatever for your attacks, for your special abilities, etc., etc. It's not like an immersive like FPS third person MMO or not MMO, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, RPG. Thank you. Yeah, like first person RPG. It's not the same kind of thing. And you're talking about Star Wars: The Old Republic, and yeah, it's fine, but again, that's more World of Warcraft RPG versus like FPS.
But turns out he's essential. 10,000 people download a mod solely dedicated to killing him. There's also a mod that just stops him giving out quests in an attempt to make him more tolerable. It has around 50,000 downloads. Others turn to alternative ways of doing that. Settlements are also just kind of pointless.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
They have no impact on the main quest, and most of the actual settlers are just basic, randomly generated NPCs. You get money and items from establishing trade routes, but at the end of the game, you're pretty much drowning in all of that anyway. But Todd wasn't finished with the procedural stuff just yet.
Boy.
In New Vegas, there were a ton of unique weapons. These had unique effects and actually looked unique. In 3, most uniques had unique effects, but looked exactly the same as their default. In 4, due to the new procedural legendary weapon system, any gun can now basically have any effect, meaning no weapons here actually feel unique. The same goes for armor. When it comes down to the amount of actual content in the game, disappointment here too. Cut content, par for the course for Bethesda games, but it's never been more apparent. The map is densely populated like Skyrim, with a ton of interesting locations. The issue is, they all essentially end up just being a nice little backdrop to murder people in. Oh cool, a town made out of old boat, barge and ship parts. It's just a bunch of raiders you have to kill. A gladiator-style arena in the middle of downtown Boston, just a bunch of raiders to kill, with no reason to ever return. Fallout 4 is barely even attempting to be an RPG anymore. It's a sandbox, base building, looter-shooter, action exploration game. In 3, Bethesda had absolutely nailed the atmosphere. It's pretty much unanimously praised. So in 4, they change it completely. The gloomy, gritty, post-apocalyptic vibes of 3 turn into bright, colourful and hopeful in Fallout 4. The music too.
Okay.
Also,
Okay, I will say, the opening music for Fallout 4, like when you first load up the game and you get the opening theme song for Fallout 4, like at the main menu screen, I like that. I did, yeah, so I like Fallout 4's like opening thing. I thought it was good. The rest of it I couldn't care less about, but that theme song that you hear when you load up the game and you're at the main menu, I thought that was a very well done, like a really well done song.
for a AAA game in 2015, the graphics are not great. Stiff animations and pretty horrific textures across the board. The super mutants look especially bad. Compared to The Witcher 3 the same year, yeah, not great. Despite the bad graphics, the game runs terribly. Fallout 4 also features an art style change that in a lot of cases does the game no favours. Some weapons look weird, walls look worse, and super mutants go from deformed, hunched over mutants to just large green men. We don't talk about the synth armor. Also, is that gun bolt on the wrong side? The writing. Again, Emil is back as head writer, and as a result, we're served an absolute masterclass of storytelling. We emerge from a vault, looking for an immediate family member. Again. The big silver people.
And not only that, you emerge looking for a family member and then forget about your baby for the majority of the game. That's the funny part. It's like when I played Fallout 4, there was this, oh, I've got to find my baby was stolen. And then that's kind of just immediately been immediately forgotten about, because now all of a sudden it's about, well, we've got to build up the Red Rocket base. Oh, Preston Garvey's got a mission for us at a new settlement. Oh, we've got to go to frickin' the Barter Town or whatever the hell it was. And it's just side quest, side quest, side quest, side quest. Like, you completely forget about the whole purpose of the game, you know, the main storyline, until, like, the very end, from what I've seen. Like, the main storyline doesn't really come back into play until you're, like, done. Yeah, screw you. That's the whole concept. The whole concept of Fallout 4, the basic plot line is, you know, you can choose a male or female character for yourself. And the whole plot line is, at the beginning of the game, you and your spouse and your baby are in your home. A guy comes by, and, like, I think he sells you a spot in the vault. That might have been Vault 34. I can't remember which vault in question. And then the nuclear apocalypse comes, and you and your spouse with your child... Oh, you're kidding. Slot, why'd you let me go on for so long? It was Vault 111? Okay, Vault 111. Well, for those that don't know the story of Fallout 4, is like the nuclear apocalypse come, you and your spouse and your baby race for Vault 111. You get in there, you know, you get in there safely. They get you into your vault suits, and you go into one cryopod. Your spouse and your baby goes into the other cryopod, and then at some point during your cryo sleep, bandits break into Vault 111. They pop open your spouse's cryopod, kill your... Oh. Well, this is right at the beginning of the game, Gasoline. This game has been out for over a decade. If you haven't played it already, I'm sorry. There's spoilers everywhere. Or they weren't bandits, they were like scientists. They were like the Science Consortium or whatever the fuck they were. Yeah, I mean, you know, they kidnap your baby. Oh, okay. Yeah, like they pop open your spouse's pod, They stab they kill your spouse, they steal your baby, you fall back asleep for an unknown amount of time, wake back up, and it's like, I have to find my baby, and then you promptly forget about finding your baby for the next God knows how many hours you played the game. That's it.
They're back, and central to the storyline. Again. Look, Giant Robot Man finale. Again. Wow. Also, you've just left the vault with the sole mission of finding your only child, who's just been ripped from the clutches of your lifeless spouse.
There it is, right there. That's it. Yeah, you're in Vault 111, you've been in cryosleep for an unknown period of time. You got these two techs or whatever, by the way, whose leg is gone. His leg is gone all wonky. They pop open your spouses, in this case, your player character is the person chose a guy, you have a wife, pops open your wife's cryo tube, blows her away, steals your son, and you fall back asleep.
Who's just been ripped from the clutches of your lifeless spouse. Only to immediately get sidetracked by Steve down the road, who needs some help building a shed. Not too long after the game comes out, Emil does a talk where he explains his writing method. It's controversial.
Keep it simple, stupid. This is what happens at Bethesda. When you write the main story of a game, we're going to write the great American novel. It's going to be this thick.
Keep it simple, stupid.
And you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to rip out every page and make paper airplanes out of them. And they're never going to see your story. They are going to spend 30 hours making shacks. This is who we're making the...
That did not age well. Oh, that aged poorly. Given how many people loved Fallout New Vegas because of its story, get unfucked up with that. The reason why I fucked off out of Fallout 4 is because it was boring. There was no story to keep me engaged. I didn't give a fuck about building anything. And so I was like, I'm done. This game is boring. I'm out. I'm going to go play something fun. So, yeah, keep it simple, stupid means we're going to be lazy. We're going to be lazy so we don't have to do much work because because I think at this point, Bethesda knew whatever they put out, the modders will fix it. And I think this may have been the start of Bethesda basically counting on the modders to fix everything.
Game for. That's not the end of being a video game developer, because the true mark of being a real developer is waiting for reviews to come in, and then reading the reviews, of course, and hopefully, if you get lucky, ignoring the reviews.
Then there's the design of the game. Emil is head of that too.
Oh, I know, Mechanist.
Lead designers of a game usually have this thing called a design document. This is available to everyone on the team and sets out pretty much everything the game is trying to achieve, keeping everyone on the same page at all times. New people join the company midway through development, just send them the design doc, and they'll be up to speed. Design docs are usually constantly updated throughout development, so if something changes, it'll be reflected on the document. But turns out, the lead designer is not a fan. Design docs take a bit of time to keep up to date, and it's just a bit too much effort. So for Fallout 4, he basically just scraps it, apparently resorting to a few smaller ones for specific areas of development. Now Bethesda games are not small projects. Their studios consists of hundreds of people, collaborating across multiple countries.
We don't give two shits about how technology works, because all we care about is getting rich.
And now they're going about this without a cohesive, shared document. Doesn't sound ideal.
Exactly, Revan.
He receives a ton of backlash for this, and later walks it back in a tweet.
Of course he does.
And of course, the bugs are numerous. And incredibly basic things are still missing. There's still no ultra-wide support, or even an FOV slider, even though you can easily change it by modifying the ini file. This is on a PC in the year 2015. But of course, Bethesda knows their fanbase will clean it all up for them, so it's all good. When Fallout 4...
Here it is! Fallout 4, I think, is when the we'll let the modders fix it in post mentality fully kicked in. It started with probably New Vegas and 3. Fallout 4 is where it kicked into high gear, and they basically said, fuck it, we're sending it out half-baked, and we'll let the modders fix it for us.
First released in November 2015, Todd and the boys offered a season pass for $30, including access to all future DLC content. At the time, the scope of the DLC isn't public knowledge, but the last two Fallouts had a clear formula of 4 to 5 decently sized story expansions, with new locations, quests, weapons, and enemies. So people expect something similar here. Bethesda had also stated that the season pass would be worth at least $40 in total. Pretty sweet deal. February 2016, and Bethesda has an announcement. They've expanded their original vision for 4's DLC.
Are you with me?
And the season pass price is getting bumped up to $50 in March. If you hadn't already, you better get that season pass now. They released their first expansion that same month, and it's a small questline with a character from Fallout 3, as well as a new robot building system. It's alright, I guess. April 2016, and DLC 2 is released, Wasteland Workshop. This is basically just a few more things you can craft for your settlements, and some arena fighting. Okay. May 2016, and we get the first proper expansion, Far Harbor, and this is actually decent. Bethesda had clearly taken in some feedback here, because it includes actual RPG elements and is decently written. Let's just ignore that one quest there.
Yeah.
Decently
Hold
written.
up.
Let's just ignore.
So taking that mentality of, we'll let the modders fix it to all new levels.
Ignore that one quest there. They then released 2 more workshop DLCs. Exciting stuff. Then the second full expansion, Nuka World, releases in August. Again, this expansion is good. The season pass was shaping up to be a pretty good buy. Wait, this was the last DLC? So that was 2 actual expansions, a small quest line, and then some tiny crafting DLC. Fans are pretty pissed.
People will buy anything. That doesn't mean...
Despite the issues, the game sells insanely well. Todd had done it again. And Fallout goes mainstream. Mass appeal. And hundreds of millions are conjured yet again. Todd gets suited and booted, and heads to the Game Awards. Ready to sweep up yet again. But once he gets there, something feels different. The atmosphere. It's off. Todd has some white wine, and dips into the salmon pinwheel. It's fine. It's probably nothing. And the lights dim, and there it is. Best RPG.
The best RPG.
Witcher.
The winner is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
What?
Oh, yes.
Developer of the year.
Developer of the year goes to CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. CD Projekt Red cleaned the fuck up that year. Witcher 3? Holy crap. Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games. One of the greatest RPGs ever made. Atsunoshi, I still would argue that they still have a great they still have a really good studio. Like, I still love Cyberpunk. Despite what people said, from day one when Cyberpunk released, I enjoyed Cyberpunk. I thought it was a fun game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, that's the thing, Revan. I didn't experience what everybody had. This is the thing. I never really experienced the shit that people went through with Cyberpunk. For the most part, other than some minor glitches, Cyberpunk ran pretty much flawless for me when I first got it back at launch. And I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed Cyberpunk. I thought the story was very engaging. I thought the side quests did not detract from the main storyline. You know, you go off on these side quests, but the main storyline was still there, very prevalent. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy Cyberpunk. And when I played it again on stream, I enjoyed it. I still think it's a really good game. And I still think CD Projekt Red is a good developer. like, yeah, there's all the talk, but there's all talk about it, like with some of the like supposedly woke stuff and everything. Honestly, I've talked about the past. I think it's blown out of proportion, and it's just people just looking to hate on something. That the whole like DEI stuff that people were trying to play about it. I think it's blown out of proportion. Everything. I still think CD Projekt Red is still a good company. They're still putting out good games, and they're still doing really well, I think.
What? Game of the Year.
And the winner for Game of the Year 2015 is...
Char.
The Witcher 3.
Deserved. It was a great game.
Outrage. Todd Howard snubbed.
I know, Robbie.
He leaves and gets cracking on his next game. This thing was going to be a masterpiece.
Oh, here we go.
The consistent regression of their games, definitely noted. But Bethesda still has a generally tremendous reputation. In a market currently setting its sights exclusively on your mother's credit card.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir. I'm calling from your credit card company.
Bethesda had stuck it out, remained single player, and actively avoided egregious monetization. Mostly. One of the few decent gaming companies
Till
left.
now.
But around 2016, and even this begins to change. In October, Bethesda Softworks decides to make a controversial change. See, game reviewers typically...
I mean, Chieftain, I don't think Fallout 4 is a bad game. Like, my personal opinion, Fallout 4 was fine, but uninteresting. That's it. It's not bad. It's not a dumpster fire. It's just, it was completely uninteresting, and I got bored with it really fast.
get sent out review copies a few days or even weeks before games come out. This is so they have enough time to actually play the game before writing an entire review on it for launch day. For longer, single-player games like the ones Bethesda Softworks publish, this is pretty important. But Bethesda now reckons, nah, let's just send review copies out one day before launch. So, everyone, including those in the media, get to experience our games at the same time. Definitely not to sweep glitches and issues with the games under the rug until everyone had already bought the game. This is obviously quite controversial, and after releasing a couple of games under this, they backpedal. Also, around the same time, a tiny indie developer is developing a small game called Pray for the Gods. ZeniMax hears about this and comes knocking. Nice name you got there, pal. But turns out, we already have a game with the word pray in the title. Nothing personal, kid. They're forced to change the name. A few years before that, Mojang was making a game called Scrolls. ZeniMax had come knocking then too. Same result. Also in 2016, Todd has a surprise for us. It had been 2 years since Fallout 4, and players are starting to get hungry once more. And lucky for us, Todd and the boys had something in store. Another edition of Skyrim. That was on top of Skyrim Legendary Edition back in 2013, Skyrim VR Edition, which would release in 2017, and Skyrim Nintendo Switch Edition shortly after that. Fans are overjoyed. That's not all. The Special Edition replaces the original Skyrim listing on Steam. It also changes the game from 32-bit to 64-bit, meaning every single mod is now automatically broken and needs updating. It's not all bad. They announce mods on consoles. They also announce paid mods for all platforms. The Creation Club. It was simple. Slide some cash over to modders to create a mod that probably already exists on the Nexus for free. Create their own currency with predatory pricing models. And then sell these mods to players through it. The first few creations are simply jaw-dropping. An $8 Chinese stealth suit, pretty much identical to the one in the base game of Fallout 3, for free, and also currently available on the Nexus, for free. And look, horse armor again.
Oh,
Brilliant.
for fuck's sake.
2018. It's rumoured that Todd is working on a massive, brand new IP. Their first in 25 years, called Starfield. So naturally, we're probably not going to hear much from him for a while. But then, on May the 29th, another countdown appears. This time on Bethesda's own Twitch. On it, the words "Please stand by." My god, it's happening again.
Hey, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Oh god, the hype for this was insane. Oh my god, they hyped the ever-living shit out of this. This was one of the most gargantuan-sized failures to launch, I think, in video game history. No, not, well, yes, Fatal Brand, yes, I heard Starfield was shit too. But this was one of the biggest failures to launch I think I've ever heard of. Like, everybody was calling scam. Okay, Magnus, fair point. Fair point with Concord. Like, every single review I saw for this, which, yeah, we're coming up to Fallout 76. Every single review I saw for Fallout 76 was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And Seb, I think I did do the Internet Historians video on it. I'm pretty sure I did. Check my channel. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did the react to it.
And then, there he is.
Have we waited long enough, guys?
Wait, what was this? It was only 3 years since the last Fallout. Could this be the massively anticipated New Vegas sequel? Perhaps Fallout 5 skipped the queue. Speculation goes wild.
Everything on this wall is connected.
Regardless, the next day, the countdown drizzles down to 0, and the world sees the next Fallout for the very first time.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Excitement. Although people...
No. The Action Master, this is not the black sheep. This is like the stillborn abomination of Fallout. Okay, let's get this right.
People still don't really know what it is they're excited for. June 10th. It's E3. Todd charges on stage, and we get some actual details
Here we
of the
fucking
game.
go.
Fallout 76 is entirely online. All new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4. 16 times the detail. Of course, you can...
He said the thing! He said the thing, chat!
play this solo. You'll never even see a server when you play.
This all sounded brilliant. An online PvP base building survival game. The collector's edition looks promising too.
And it also comes with a Fallout collectible that really I've always wanted, so we made them for everybody to buy, and here it is.
Okay, no. But we do get a helmet, a map,
that glows in the f***ing dark,
and some army figures, alongside...
And by the way, the helmets had old in them. Like, he's gonna get into the bag, but the helmets that they put out had old in them. There were numerous reports about there being mold inside the interior. Like, they were saying, like, do not wear the helmet because there is mold in them. And now we're gonna get to the back.
A canvas bag. It's also the perfect time to tease Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes, Warthog. Yes, the helmets had old in them. It was nasty. And we're not even getting into the Nuka-Cola stuff either. Which I'm guessing he'll go into. They also did like a Nuka-Cola promotion that was... Just wait. I'm sure he'll get into it.
It's also the perfect time to tease Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. 2 games that are around 5 and 10 years out from launch respectively. But anyway, this thing's coming out on November the 14th, and that was just 5 months away. Bethesda had held a beta a couple of weeks before launch for people who'd pre-ordered the game, and things start out rough. By this point, Bethesda weren't exactly known for the structural integrity of their software, and they'd decided to launch the game exclusively on their brand new Bethesda launcher, made in-house by Bethesda's best.
Yeah.
Just go to their website, download it, slurp up the 45 gigabytes of game files, and in around a week's time when the beta's unlocked, just hit play. Simple enough. And players do exactly this, but turns out, for some, upon pressing the play, the launcher deletes the entire game instantly. Bethesda releases an emergency statement telling players to stay calm and not to touch anything. They're working on it.
Don't touch it.
And then promptly delete.
Do not redeem! Do not redeem! I'm telling you, son, do not redeem!
That's the tweet. Things are off to a good start. Also, the YouTubers. They're uploading videos. They're not good. They say the game is running horrifically.
I couldn't get the game to run smoothly. I had tons of FPS issues and tons of stutters.
Even on NASA tier PCs. And that bugs are everywhere. But fans disagree. The dislikes come in hard and fast. Bethesda would obviously fix everything before release. This is a beta after all.
Sure they would.
Right.
However, this is a beta about 3 weeks out from launch. Fans close YouTube and head over to Twitch, where Rick and Morty are streaming the game.
I know I'm naked, but just come help me out. No funny business.
Everything was gonna be okay. 14th of November 2018, and the world is blessed with Fallout 76. And after downloading a day 1 patch bigger than the game itself, players boot up and step out into what would be
an untamed and very different wasteland.
Todd had made some grand promises.
Ralph, there was... Okay. There are too many bugs to count. Fallout 76 was riddled with bugs. There was, what was it? There was a bug where, not a bug, but I don't know what it was. It was something like if a player came in and took over your workshop in your camp, they basically could control everything in your workshop. There was one where players would put stuff into their stash, and the stash would literally like vanish all of your items. So everything that you put into your stash would fucking disappear, and it was gone forever. You couldn't get it back. Bethesda wouldn't even get it back for you or something like that. It like that is literally a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of all the bugs that were Fallout 76. It was bug the game.
And the follow-through was nothing short of incredible. Voluptuous size, and the detail, simply eye-watering. However, Fallout 76's development was handed to a newer, relatively inexperienced Bethesda team in Austin, with the main Bethesda Maryland just designing and overlooking the development of the game. And turns out, this new team decided to forego bug testing entirely, and on launch, Christ.
Oh my god!
There are frozen enemies,
It's a glitch!
flying enemies, invisible enemies,
Hello?
naked enemies, upside down naked enemies, invincible players.
Yes! Oh my god, this was such a bad bug. If you wanted to fight another player and you shot the other player, you could not damage them. Unless they fought back. Like if you get the drop on another player and you shot them, you would do no damage. It would not be until the other player actually engages you that you could damage each other. Yeah. So like if you're a player and you're just walking along and somebody wants to ambush you to get your shit and they get the drop on you and they shoot you, nothing. You can just stand there and take every single hit that they make, even from the most powerful guns in the game. You would not be damaged until you actually fought back.
Or not. I could get the damage bug.
Pop-ins, rendering issues,
16 times the detail.
random god rays, T-poses, server crashes,
Hey, bye-bye, bitch. Told you.
and muscle man.
What the
Animations are also off. There's a ton of exploits, and so much more.
God!
What the is going on?
The year is also 2018, and Bethesda's newest AAA game is capped at 60 frames per second, even on PC. Naturally, players are quite annoyed, so they dig into the game files.
But half the time it wouldn't even run at 60 frames per second. You shoot a gun in Fallout 76, your frame rate drops to like the 20s or less. Just by shooting your gun. Like shooting a firearm in Fallout 76 would chew into your frame rates and drop it down to low double or even single digits.
And start tinkering. And in a mere few minutes, they figure out a simple fix. However, turns out the cap's there for a reason, because turn it off, and time and space itself speeds up and destabilizes. This is because the game world's physics are actually tied to the frame rate of the game. Head over 100,
oh my god,
and your character becomes the Flash. This bug has been in Bethesda's engine code dating back to Morrowind, and it's one of the many bugs modders have repeatedly fixed on their own, almost instantly after release, only for every following game to reintroduce it. There's also still no FOV slider,
Keep getting away with it!
so PC players dig into the game files again, and do it themselves. But turns out, the UI is tied to the field of view here. Change this, and the UI elements are just gone. Push to talk? Sorry, not this time. Proximity chat is either permanently off or always on, the latter by default. Meaning you'll be hearing the cries of children and screams of mothers in the distance fairly often.
Does somebody not know how to flush the toilet after they've had a shit? Me? Well, it was fucking one of yes. Disgusting!
There's also no text chat, and on PC, you can barely remap the horrific controls. The game itself, also quite lacking. As was now well established, bug fixes and patches for Bethesda games had been outsourced to modders.
There were no human NPCs in the game. The game literally, all of your interactions apparently were with holotapes. And there were 0 NPCs anywhere in the game. It was, robots or holotapes, and that's it. And it was only like months and months after launch that they finally put in a single human NPC in, and there was much rejoicing. Yay! Points if you get that reference.
For free. But for Fallout 76, Todd decided to outsource the actual content too.
My personal favorite part of Fallout 76 is when they create their own fun.
See, Bethesda had so much of their team working on the detail.
16 times the
God.
That developing actual things to do in interactable NPCs, simply not possible. And the game features absolutely no human characters. Only other players. But it's alright. Other players will take the place of NPCs, Todd reassures us. With no NPCs in the game, naturally, the quests are terrible. The main quest line basically boils down to following the trail of someone's vlogs across the map. Okay, at least there's the side quests. Stuff like find Steve. Oh, Steve's dead. Thank God he left this TikTok behind for us to watch.
The war is over.
You are out of uniform, soldier! Where is your power armor? That suit is gonna come out of your pay! Now get out of my face and don't come back until you look like a soldier!
Fantastic. The game features PvP, but the PvP is horrific. Instead of simply adding PvP and PvE servers, Todd attempts to toe a tight middle ground, and makes it so 2 players have to shoot each other before either can do any actual damage. Shoot someone that hasn't shot you back yet, and you may as well be shooting blanks. And the graphics, still not great.
Beautiful, stunning, 2018. Ah, magnifique.
It's not all bad. There are some cool things here, like dropping nukes, but drop more than one at a time, and the
Hold up. Is that where the main tank comes from? Is this literally where this, hang on, I'm blocking. Is this literally where this meme came from?
things here, like dropping nukes, but drop more than one.
No? Okay. the way that he put Charlie's picture in there, I wasn't sure if that was just, showing Charlie playing the game on Twitch. Okay, so that wasn't actually what resulted. Okay. I think I did, Adrian? I think. There were a couple people that pinged me on that. I think I saw yours.
At a time, and the servers will implode.
You'll never even see a server.
Yeah.
It's not
Hang on.
all bad. There are some cool things here,
Wait for
like
it.
dropping nukes. But drop more than one at a time, and the servers will implode.
You'll never even see a server when you play.
The launch codes are also the same for every server, and change once a week. Just
And they
spend
were on
countless
Reddit in
hours
5
getting
minutes.
relate pieces. You could have just Googled them. The building is alright, but the build limit is extremely restricted, and all you can really do is build crafting stations, a bed, and storage.
Please don't tell anyone how I live.
Storage that is, again, extremely restricted. They end up raising it by 50% after a huge number of complaints, but they say they can't do any more due to server performance issues. So the game itself, not smooth. But the one thing that does work perfectly on launch is the new in-game shop, the Atomic Shop.
Of course.
Come in and browse such luxuries.
And by the way, the Atom Shop was the subject of a lawsuit because, at least I'm pretty sure, because when they first launched the Atom Shop, day one, they had sale, discounted price. Day one. Yeah, like the first day the Atom Shop came out, the first day of launch, they had the Atom Shop, and already they were like, oh, it's on sale. It was $20, now it's $12, but this was literally at launch. And I'm pretty sure that a lawsuit was brought up because of this. That they were basically trying to like artificially inflate their prices or something like that.
Shop. Come in and browse such luxuries as a set of power armor with some paint slapped on for just $20. Deal.
Are you f***ing serious?
Yeah.
Do you like $7 digital fridges?
Yes.
Do you like the outfits you got for free in our last game? Great, come in and spend some money. Naturally, at first, there are pay-to-win concerns around this store. But Todd comes out. It's alright. You can earn the currency in-game, the purchases would fund the upcoming free expansions for the game, and most assuring of all, the Atomic Shop is and would stay cosmetic only, so that PvP would stay completely balanced and fair.
Sure it would.
We're definitely not asset flipping Fallout 4 and selling it back to you for dozens of dollars, and there are absolutely no fake discounts. And
Yes, there it is. There it is, right there. And I think it wasn't Australia. I think it was Germany. The fake discounts from day one. Yep, I think it might have been a full EU lawsuit, but this is it right there. Yep.
And law-breaking price schemes. Nice. Time to
And
get
this
spending.
is before they did
Naturally,
the subscription.
the game doesn't make it a few days before discounts appear. The game starts at $60. Within just 1 week, a third of that is nixed. 50% sales not long after that. Alongside the discounts,
it
hordes of
plummeted.
fans had been requesting refunds. Initially, Bethesda had given in, but now, no more. Some people had even promised them.
Oh, is this? There was one infamous refund request. Someone requested a refund. I'm pretty sure this was for Fallout. Where? Oh no! Sorry, it's the bag thing. Okay, sorry, I'm wrong about this. It was in regards to the bags, not refunding of the game. So I'm gonna wait to see if he gets to that because that was a big to do.
Only to have Bethesda backtrack the next day. See, if this was on Steam, they'd have to give the green light for these. But here's the thing.
Yes.
It's on that old launcher of theirs. Check and mate. But then come murmurs of a class action lawsuit, and they backtrack immediately. So the game is absolutely horrendous, and naturally, the sales are too. Also, no game awards, not even a nomination.
No, Fan Striker. Influencers didn't get the real bags either. They did it. What? Okay, I want to wait, but there's only like 10 minutes left, and he may or may not get into it. So basically, with the Fallout bundle that they sold was supposed to come with a very nice canvas bag along to put your helmet in. Instead of a very nice canvas bag, they got a really cheap, like, vinyl, like the kind of bag that you can, like, buy at a grocery store for your groceries. It was disgustingly cheap and was not at all what they promised. Yeah, it was nylon. Yeah, that's right. It was a nylon bag instead of a canvas bag. Instead of a really nice canvas bag, it was a cheap, silk-screened nylon bag.
It was a wop-wop moment.
And it was. And when people were complaining, like, hey, we're supposed to be getting it, you guys advertise a canvas bag, we're getting this cheap silk-screen bullshit nylon bag. And infamously, there was one return from a customer care that said, we're not... something about like we couldn't give out the canvas bags. We didn't have the canvas. We have no plans to fix this. Goodbye. And that was like the infamous customer support return email that they got. And they did like kind of try to backtrack on it. However, influencers did not receive the canvas bags. Influencers received canvas backpacks with the Fallout branding on them. It wasn't even like the small duffel style canvas bag like it was advertised. It was like a backpack canvas bag. It was like a knapsack. And when that came to light, when influencers were showing off their cool swag, including their knapsack, players were like, what the fuck? Why are they? So I thought there was a canvas shortage, which was the excuse that they were giving. There was a canvas shortage, so they couldn't make the canvas bags, but the influencers are getting these really nice canvas knapsacks, and players were going, what the fuck? And then so eventually I think Bethesda actually did like the same canvas knapsacks, and I'm pretty sure they sent them out to the players that purchased the deluxe thing. So that was the whole snafu with the canvas bags. And they didn't even get the canvas bags. They got the backpacks, not the bags. And doxing? Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, there was like, what? Yeah, there was that one woman who received from Bethesda support just a mountain of player information, like real life player information, like names, addresses, I think credit card numbers. Like, they just, like, emailed this out. Wait, was it everyone? Okay, maybe I heard about one person receiving it. But yeah, they like, there was doxing, and that's even before going into, the entire site was doxed. Okay, so it's going beyond even more than what I know. He does go into, okay, does he go into the Nuka Dark Rum fail? Does he go into that? Because that's another one. That's a whole other... Okay, he does. Okay. All right. He'll go into it in the 10 minutes. Let's let him cook.
The sales are 2. Also, no Game Awards, not even a nomination, and a whopping 2.6 on Metacritic. Right, boys.
Yeah.
Should probably do something here. They can't rely on modders to fix the game this time round, so Bethesda gets to work on actual patches. And after a few months, Fallout 76 slowly morphs into something resembling a playable game. Also, the boys in Bethesda's R&D department had been working round the clock. And by the end of 2018, was that an FOV slider? Widescreen? Even push to talk? What was happening?
Oh my god!
Despite the progress, there are some bugs they just can't quite crack. Also, a teleportation exploit using cameras, hackers finding a way to spawn in weapons, armor, and other objects into the game, even NPCs and stuff from other games.
Bethesda just does not have the infrastructure in place that allows them to deal with situations like this efficiently.
These hackers are also running around stealing people's entire inventory. They don't even have to see you to do this, as long as they're within the general radius of the player.
Why are you running?
And
had players jumping into, like, they actually had, like, PvP server, like, private servers. I don't know if he's gonna get this, but when Bethesda did, like, a subscription program where you paid $99 for a 1-year subscription, which would give you like give you like 400 atoms per month, or maybe it was 400 caps, I forget. And you would have access to your own peer-to-peer server that you could invite your friends in, so it could be just your server with, it was like Fallout First, I think it was called. You supposedly had your own private server. You can invite people into your server, that it would just be you in there, there'd be no other players, and other players could just come into your game. Like, even if they weren't invited, other players could invade your private server that you paid for with your Fallout First subscription. And that's even before getting into players finding the developer room with literally every fucking weapon in the game. Like, players were able, like, someone was able to find the devs like asset room and leaked where it was, and everybody could just get any weapon they wanted in the game by going into the devs asset room.
Because the Pip-Boy is technically an item in your inventory, say goodbye to that too. Luckily, thanks to another glitch, the game checks if you have a Pip-Boy every time you log onto a server, so join a new server and you'll be alright. It takes Bethesda around a week to address this, and when they do fix it, hundreds of people have lost everything. Victims are given two options: roll back their progress to before the muggings, or meet up with someone from Bethesda in a private world who will hand all your stuff back to you. But despite the improvements in the game, problems are surfacing outside of it. As part of the collector's edition, they'd promised a canvas bag, quite clearly labelled here. But on launch day, horror for collectors as they unboxed their editions, and it was nowhere to be found. Instead, a cheap nylon bag in its place. After suggesting a canvas shortage and then denying replacements.
Yes, here we go. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. Hello, we're sorry that you weren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it. This was the infamous help desk email that made its way around the internet that was basically seeming to indicate Bethesda was going, we don't fucking care, we have your money.
They backtrack again and hand out a form for people to fill out a replacement. This goes through very...
Well, okay, hold on. Please contact, they will assist in granting you your account 500 atoms. So, instead of replacing the bag, instead of actually giving people the bag that they wanted, they were just going to give them 500 atoms, which couldn't even buy you an outfit or a hairstyle. Yeah, it was basically $5. That was how they were compensating you for not giving you the bag, the canvas bag that they promised. And you got 500 atoms. Yeah, and you get the postman's outfit, which has a canvas bag, costs 700, so you couldn't even buy one in the game with this.
This goes through very smoothly, with no issues. However, this is not the only underwhelming merchandise.
Here we go. Yes.
September 2019. It's been around a year since release, and after countless bug fixes, Fallout 76 is in okay shape, and now the game and its mishaps are largely forgotten. But the collector's edition wasn't finished. It would spring up one more time in the media.
Yep.
This time it was the helmets. They were accumulating dangerous levels of mold. If you were the lucky owner of one of the collectible Nuka Cola versions, turns out the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission considers them a severe health risk for anyone with one in the household. They're recalled and refunded. Bethesda's reputation was already slipping before the events of 76, but Fallout 76 was a major tipping point. Gamers were angry. They were rising up. So angry, these gamers made numerous angry YouTube videos and forum posts, most of which attained a ton of upvotes from other angry gamers.
The one that I watched is, I watched Angry Joe's. I watched his Fallout 76 video, and I watched his like hour-and-a-half follow-up where it was him, other Joe, and Dell were all sitting around a table together just talking about how absolute dog shit the game is. Well, Eminency, it wasn't a hat, it was a literal helmet, like that would go over your entire head. It didn't just sit on top of your head. It went over your entire head. It was a legit element. How did it get mold? Excellent question. I'm not sure we ever got an answer for that.
Were getting serious. Bethesda thought it best not to respond to the horror that was the launch of this game, and return to the shadows, and Todd and the boys lay low, go off the grid. Before launch, you could often find Pete Hines, Vice President of Bethesda Softworks and Head of Marketing and PR on Twitter, answering curious fans' questions about the game. Afterwards, nothing. Complete radio silence. But after a while, the game is improving.
Maybe, Zeb, maybe.
The roadmap that
sure.
initially launched for the game is taking shape, and the expansions are actually decent. They'd even added actual NPCs. Wow. Todd had even apologized.
Fallout 76 had a lot of difficulties at launch, and we got a lot of well-deserved criticism.
To the optimistic, it looked like things at Bethesda had in fact begun to change. Their trail of greed, incompetence, and outright refusal to listen to what their fan base wanted was just a brief nightmare. A small bump in the road. Finished. Unfortunately, Todd had other plans.
Here we go. They should have taken it, but it's to talk about it.
Would never be paid to win. Microtransactions would be cosmetic only. So when they released repair kits to the Atomic Shop in early 2019, fans are confused. Todd had lied, but he wasn't finished. In 2020, the promised private servers arrive, and they're paywalled behind Fallout 76's new subscription service.
Yeah?
Fallout First. Private servers, unlimited storage for scrap, monthly atoms, exclusive cosmetics, and a tent. All for just $13 a month. More expensive than Netflix at the time. Oh god.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 is trending on Twitter again. A ton of angry forum posts are cropping up. People are not happy. Also, they forgot to reserve the actual Fallout First domain name, and someone on 4chan managed to get there first.
Oh, I heard about this. Oh, yes, someone got the Fallout First domain and just utterly fucking lampooned the shit out of Bethesda and Fallout with it. This is an example. With Fallout Fuck You First membership, you'll receive monthly bonus of 1650 microtransaction points using the Atomic Shop. Waste all your money on useless Atomic Shop items with the worst value for money wasting bundle today. Time to pay up. Finally, pick up that outfit or icon you've been eyeing, or else we will bill you for it. You deserve it for enduring this game so long. The lazy version of the Ranger armor. Explore a discount version of the not-so-Ranger outfit available for Fallout Fuck You First slaves. Yeah, it's fucking glorious.
Of course, this service was not without issues. The private servers turned out to use recycled multiplayer worlds that had evidence of recent activity from other players, such as dead enemies, looted areas, and so on. The infinite stash was gobbling up people's scrap, which they could no longer find. Yeah, once again, things were not smooth. It's now 2020, and up at corporate movement. See, back in 2007, a private equity firm called Providence had bought around 300 million ZeniMax shares, and then some more in 2010. They're presumed to hold around 30 to 40% of the stock. What followed was a shopping spree. ZeniMax uses this money to buy Tango Gameworks, id, and Arcane, and rumour is, by 2016, their little investment has paid off quite nicely, and Providence is looking to lock in some profits and sell. However, at this point, ZeniMax are only valued at $2.5 billion. That was embarrassing. We can do better, boys. And so, a plan is hatched. Instead of sticking to huge, intermittent, high-quality releases every few years, let's consider the quarterly cash flows. How about a few mobile games, price tags on mods, egregiously priced cosmetics, and then the masterpiece that was Fallout 76.
Oh my god.
There. Now, on paper, the company looks great. Just forget about everything else. And the plan works perfectly. Microsoft's
okay, so he's not going to get into it. There was another thing that was a big black eye for Bethesda on this one. Is they did, Nuka, they advertised Nuka Cola Dark, which was supposed to, it was an alcohol. And the way they advertised is that they acted like it was going to come in this Nuka-Cola style bottle with bottle cap, and it was going to be a delicious dark rum. What ended up happening is the Nuka-Cola bottle was a cheap as fuck plastic shell that they just clamshelled around a nothing brand bottle of rum and stuck the cap on. That was it. It was literally just a plastic shell for your bottle. Hi, Needler. Hi. How are you? We were talking about you today, weren't we, chat? We were talking about you. How are you doing? I know. Oh, I know. Everyone knows. I'm sorry to say everybody knows, but you were quite popular. I must say, you were quite popular. But yeah, it was a plastic shell that just clamshelled around a regular bottle of rum. You couldn't even pour the rum while it was inside the shell because the lip of the bottle did not match the lip of the shell. So if you tried to pour your rum while it was in the Nuka-Cola bottle shell, it would spill everywhere. It was absolutely pathetic. And yet another black eye on Bethesda and Fallout. Like, everything about Fallout 76 was a monumental fail. And the reason why I say it's even worse than Concord, because Concord at least functioned. It was just nobody liked it. The characters were dog shit. Nobody liked the game, and they just shut it down after a week. Fallout 76 had a buttload of money into it and was a disaster on multiple fronts. It was a disaster with the game development. It was a disaster with the peripherals. It was a disaster with the expansions. It was a disaster with the marketing. It was a disaster with the monetization. Every facet of Fallout 76 was an outright disaster. And that's why I say I think it's one of the worst launches in gaming history. And Tornado, yes, I have. I've reacted to it. It's on my YouTube channel.
Phil Spencer marches straight into their office, and on September 21st, 2020, they announced the acquisition of ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion. And on the 9th of March 2021, the deal goes through. Xbox now has 23 game studios, and the prime cut of the meat, Todd Howard and the boys.
Yeah.
Morrowind was a generational leap, effectively laying the foundation for the modern open world game and setting the blueprint for all following Bethesda titles. Todd was the visionary
I've seen it.
but with
I thought
little
I reacted
competition,
to it.
a horrific engine, and a complete dismissal of fan feedback. Innovation turned to safe, stagnant, and outdated and repetitive
but I did see
releases. And by 2021, it was clear. The Bethesda we once knew was no longer. It's him. How did he find you? Todd leans in gently, hair combed to perfection, his frosty eyes glistening. A faint aroma of jasmine and manuka honey radiates from him. You stand strong and firm.
Thank you,
You've fallen
Jack.
for this before. There's nothing he could say to fool. But then you feel his touch. The hairs on your neck shoot up as he leans in, the manuka now hot in your nostrils. And he whispers in your ear once more.
Painstaking, huge, 4 times the size. You'll need a free hand.
Todd's next game was coming out next year, and you'd just pre-ordered it.
I can't wait for that one to come out.
Also, don't forget to download War Thunder using the links below.
I cannot
You and returning PC
wait
and console
for
players
that
get a
video.
massive bonus pack including an exclusive vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, 7 days of premium, and a ton more using the links below.
I cannot wait for his video about Starfield. I can't wait. He goes so gloriously in depth. It's amazing, and I cannot wait until he does Starfield. That will be wonderful.